Hi, everyone, and we are live. Thanks for joining our hangout tonight. We have a special guest. We're so excited. So, we are going to talk about favorite fall wineries. What wineries do you like to visit during harvest, during the fall when everything is nice and blooming and the grapes are plump and purple and all types of colors and the fall foliage and all of that. So, let us introduce ourselves. We will start with our special guest to the left, Allison.
Hi, everybody. I'm Allison Marriott, Bon Vivant, DC, and also District Wino on Twitter. And met most of these lovely ladies at the Wine Bloggers Conference, either last year or this year. So it's great to see y'all and have a virtual glass of wine with y'all again.
Nice.
Well, welcome.
Welcome.
Thanks.
Glynis.
Hi. Yay. Hey, Allison. I'm so glad you could just. Glennis, what's my blog? I think my blog, no, Glennis Hill, Vino Noir, wine educational resource here in the DC metropolitan area. Love everything wine. As you can see, wine lovers supporting breast cancer.
That's right.
We are both we're twinsies today. Hey. We're so happy that you could join us this evening, everyone out there in the web sphere, as they say, to talk about your favorite fall wineries here or abroad. Enjoy. Lambrusco.
Leslie. Leslie, can you hear us?
And yeah, I can hear you. Can you hear
Okay.
me?
Okay, we can now.
Okay. Sorry about that. This is Leslie, and I am with Vino 301, which is Maryland wine, all things Maryland wine, and I'm excited to be here and share. I think it'll be a surprise, but my favorite place to be in the fall.
Melissa.
Hi everyone, Melissa Davis, my blog liquorlady.com, lover of all things spirits, cocktails, and of course wine. So I actually have been to a winery pretty recently, right after the wedding, so super excited there. Have been to a cidery, distillery, so fall is a great time for all sorts of imbibing.
Very nice. And guys, I'm Sarita Chavis. My blog is Vine Me Up. All things DC wine, food, all that good stuff. So we're going to get started, and we're going to start with our special guest, Allison Bon Vivant.
All right. Gosh, starting it off, put me in the hot seat, literally.
You're in the hot seat.
All right, that's fine. Well,
Quite often.
that's fair enough. I should have expected it. Well, I guess I would have to start. I mean, I'm hard pressed to really find a wine region that I dislike, but it's just starting to really turn colors here in the district, Maryland, Virginia, and all of that. And I have a lot of clients I send out to Virginia around harvest. A lot of winemaker friends who are in the middle of harvest, bless their hearts, working their butts off to give us some good wine. Hopefully, get the grapes in before the rain really gets bad. So I would have to say I'm gonna have to represent Virginia here tonight. It's seasonal, drink local, all that great stuff. Although I am actually drinking Pinot Noir this night. It's hard to find some Virginia Pinot Noir, and I'm just when it starts to get cool, that's what I really feel like drinking. And Keita Ridge obviously is beautiful and makes a great Pinot Noir here in Virginia. In terms of colors, I would say one of my favorites and one that my clients love is Barreau Vineyards.
Oh, Barreau is nice.
The sun just comes down and you can sit out there and watch the sunset, and it's absolutely beautiful, and you can just hang out and it's great.
Awesome. Barreau Vineyards. All right. Glynis. We'll just go down the line here.
It's funny. Sarita asked me to lead this, and I was like, no, I can't. The only wineries that I've been to in the fall would have been in California, and as all my whining women friends here on this hangout would know I'm a big California Cabernet Sauvignon person. That's like my favorite. All things Howell Mountain. So I would guess if I had to say my favorite winery for the fall would be Chapelet Vineyards. So gorgeous. The shape of the winery itself is shaped like a pyramid. Yeah, I have a special affinity for pyramids. Um, gonna leave that like that.
Well,
And
contract maybe.
the whole my travels in the California region during harvest season has made me really love wines altogether and how the vines look totally different in different parts of the season. And during harvest, the smell of crush around Octoberish, November is just phenomenal. I mean, you go out and you're just like, oh, this wine, everything is just, yeah. It's just overwhelming to the senses. Just like my logo in the Vino Noir, the Eye of Ra, it's all senses during this fall season. Castle, oh, what's the name? There's one particular winery that I was trying to look up right before Sarita said Glacier next, and I couldn't find it. But they have a big harvest event every year, and I've been there twice, and it's just fun. I was Castle Amarone, Castle. I'll look it up before it's over and
Okay.
get back with you. But I guess my favorite wine region that I've actually been to in the fall would be California, the Napa, St. Helena, Sonoma area. A area that I would love to go to in the fall would be back to the Finger Lakes.
Mm. Yes, that would be very pretty.
Road trip, anybody?
It was just gorgeous. Glenora sitting on
Yeah.
that Seneca
Yeah.
Lake, and all of their rooms facing the lake and the vineyards. I can just imagine what it looks like with the foliage changing colors and the vines just being picked and harvest taking place there. Also, Venatosa.
Oh, yeah.
Just beautiful.
Yep.
So yes, where I've been would be my favorite for where I've been would be California, the Napa St. Helena region, Calistoga, and where I would like to go to visit in the fall season would be the Finger Lakes right here in the New York area. Well, not right here in DC, but on the East Coast. Cheers.
Leslie?
Well, I would say my favorite place would be obviously Maryland.
Mm-hmm.
And within Maryland, it's hard to pick. It's like picking between your children, which one is your favorite.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
Because definitely Western Maryland has its appeal, and the mountains and the leaves changing, as Allison talked about. And it's funny because Maryland is lucky enough to have Bro's old winemaker, young old winemaker, Big Cork, which is new this year, and that is a beautiful
Gorgeous.
place.
It's gorgeous.
Yes, in the hills of Western Maryland. But I guess tonight when we had to decide, I thought about really the Chesapeake region in Maryland, which people don't consider a lot because it's on the water. But one of the places I think has the appeal of the fall foliage, but also the water is Mark Cascia, which I have their Zinfandel here. And they are in Stevensville. So if you don't want to go too far towards the Chesapeake on the eastern shore, they're right over the Bay Bridge. And they have a beautiful vineyard that sits right on the water. So you can sit out on their porch and sit by the water and sip their, really they have a lot of big reds, which I'm a big red person, and enjoy theirs as well as just enjoy the water and the fall season. So I would have to say that's one of my favorites. And then the other thing about the Chesapeake region that a lot of people don't talk about in Maryland is they usually think of just the eastern shore of Ocean City, but the Chesapeake region goes north to Cecil County and Queen Anne County, and so that is a lot of Maryland's farmland also. And it's a little more diverse than just being on the water, and they have seasonal activities like grape stomps, and then they have harvest activities. So if you want to get involved and see what a harvest is like, many of the vineyards along that area, they will take volunteers because they're always looking for volunteers to help pick during this time. So if you want a true experience what it's like picking grapes, they are happy to allow you to pick grapes, and then more than likely you'll get a bottle of wine and fed afterwards. So that's not a bad day's pay.
Very nice.
Yeah. We'll work for wine pretty much always.
Right.
So they grow, Leslie, really quickly, so they grow their own Zinfandel grapes, or do they source?
They actually grow. They're not 100% a state-grown vineyard, but they're pretty close to it. They grow a lot of their grapes there. Which is impressive because you don't see a Zinfandel on the East Coast.
Wow, because when you said that, I was like, really?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
That'd be interesting to taste.
All right. Melissa?
Well, I was going to say this is a hard one. So I'm sitting in the middle of Chicago. I moved to Richmond, Virginia. I feel like I've been up and down the East Coast, but ironically, I guess I'll contradict myself here. So there is a place I love. It is not exactly wine, but it is a cidery. So if you guys are familiar with cider, it's basically wine made with apples instead of grapes. So Blue Bee is an urban cidery in pretty much downtown Richmond, Virginia. And they do grow some of their own apples, but the reason that I had an amazing experience there in fall, we sort of worked together, and I asked them if they would do pairing for 7 of their ciders with us. So they picked fall foods, so they had like wild pear or fig preserves, local cheeses, and so we went through this pairing of each one of their ciders with sort of a local or fall flavored item, and it was amazing. It totally put a new, you think of kind of apples, maybe fall, you think of cider, maybe fall, but just with the pairings, it was amazing. So from an urban perspective, if someone's not able to get out into, you know, to Chesapeake or into some of these wine regions, you can always stay urban. So I'll counterbalance that with a week later, I was headed down to a place called Primlin, which is in Meadows of Dan, and I don't even think any of you have probably heard of this, probably 12 miles from Mayberry, North Carolina, if that gives you a feel, like Mayberry. So Roanoke is probably, yeah, it was an interesting journey, but Roanoke is probably the largest city, probably about 45 minutes away. But we stopped at a place called Chateau Morissette. You know, I'd thought Charlottesville, I'd thought, you know, where can I stop and go to a great winery? But we decided to take the Blue Ridge Parkway, which was beautiful in its own right. And then I think it's a milepost like 72 is where Chateau Morissette is. And it is, they have sort of a black lab presence. You know, they've always had, you know, a dog on property. So it's a dog-friendly property. People bring in their dogs for tasting. They have a restaurant on site where you go get your cheeses and your grapes, and you can bring it into the tasting room to try different things. I'm a fan, Sarita. They had bubbles. They had a star dog, which is fantastic. You can't find that at every winery in Virginia, but just really beautiful. You can sit outside under the tent. You know, it's kind of on a hill, 12 miles from North Carolina. Just a completely different place. I would never have normally gone there, but such a beautiful expression of Virginia wines. So everything from kind of fruit wines, your cherries, kind of your grape flavors, to, you know, a 4 white wine with traditional kind of varietals in it as well. So just something to think about if you're looking to go a little bit deeper into the heart of Virginia.
Wow. That's awesome.
Melissa, they sell that wine at Total Wine.
Yep. They just got the distribution.
Yeah.
Oh wow.
Yep.
Huh. Oh,
And they're
awesome.
amazing. And I will say they are open, I think, 361 days a year. So if
Really?
you are ever passing through, they want you to stop. Like, they do not want to miss anybody interested in them.
Huh.
Oh,
And that's the Chateau Marquette.
That's a Morissette.
72. If there's no town but an exit, you know there's not a lot there.
Nope, nothing. I mean, this was it. This was the town.
Love it.
Yep.
Cool. I guess I'll go next. So, so I have a few favorite fall wineries because it's something I try to do. I try to visit wineries like every quarter, and I usually go between October and December. Note the most I enjoy wineries the best during the Christmas time, like right before Christmas, because nobody's there. You have like the whole tasting room to yourself. If I have a big thing, I don't like crowds. And I don't like people over my shoulder when I'm in tasting rooms and stuff like that. So I'm kind of funny. I'm kind of funny about wineries.
That
But
would be
anyway,
not fall, Miss.
would you say? Oh, I'm just saying. I'm just saying. So my top choice would be Green Hill Winery in Middleburg. It's so quaint and it's so cute, and they have the little red door. It's like a little house, and they have bubbles, of course. But they just have a lot of property, and the owner, David Greenhill, he rides horses. So sometimes he'll ride up and talk to you on his horse and have some wine with you. It's just a very relaxed winery. I always have a good time when I go there, and their wine is really good. My second choice would be Bluemont Winery. I think it's at the highest peak in Virginia or something like that. So they have one of the best views. So, and their wine is good also. Let's see. Number 4. Wait, this is number 3. I like Nota Viva. Nota Viva also in Virginia. Obviously, that's where I go to wineries. But Nota Viva is I forgot what part of Virginia it is, but you just feel like you're in somebody's home. You feel like you're a guest, in somebody's home. So I like that. And my last 2 were Glen Manor and Chester Gap. Kind of like neck and neck. So those are my favorites. What? Did somebody do something? I hear an echo.
Yeah, technical difficulty. I don't know.
Can you still hear
Are
it?
all
I
of
can't
those?
hear you.
Oh. Now I hear everybody's echo.
Are all of those?
Wait, I'm sorry. Say your question again.
Were all of those Virginia?
They were all Virginia. Mhm. My first choice in Maryland would be Bidcork.
I guess my favorite Maryland. Oh, I don't like this. Okay, what's happening with the
I don't know what happened.
Is it the storm?
Is somebody trying to watch? And be on the hangout?
no.
Melissa's on mute right now. I can see that.
Yeah.
Well, I guess my Maryland one. Because I love their wines. That's like my.
I missed the name. Which one?
Me too.
Old Westminster.
Old
yeah.
Westminster. Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah. That tapestry red. Oh, done for fall.
Mm-hmm.
Exactly. Alice.
Yeah.
So their Albarino. I would also say now tasting room. We're just up there. So. What's going on with the feedback? It's storming.
I think it's the storm, y'all.
I don't know.
Allison's not.
Whoop.
Yeah,
Uh-oh.
Alex is the only
You sure aren't.
You sure aren't.
That's weird.
echoing in Glennis.
I'm here.
Yeah, there's an echo with
Now you're echoing.
I'm just gonna take a little wine break.
Okay, everybody do me a favor. Hit the mute on and off.
Now you know I don't know how to do that.
Done.
Did it work?
I think
Unmuted.
No.
No.
Damn it.
Leslie, you're still muted. There we go.
There's
Okay,
Leslie,
what's up now?
I can hear you.
Weird.
I have a quick question. Is this working at all?
I can hear you.
Okay. All right. Me and Glennis will just do this. We're wearing matching t-shirts anyway.
I can hear everybody.
Oh,
The back strap or the echo when Melissa's talking. Because when Alice and I were talking,
okay. You're cutting in and out now. Is anybody going to any harvest parties? By the way, I didn't know that we got to choose more than one, and now I'm feeling like I skipped over a couple of my favorites. But I'm going to a harvest party in a couple weeks out in Fauquier County at RDV, which is one of my all-time absolute favorites. And then Linden, of course, right down the street. You know, they work together a lot. So I would be remiss to leave them out. And then my good friend Jordan Harris, the winemaker at Tarara, they've got amazing views and concerts and all that. So I'm gonna steal Sarita's top 4 if I could. But is anybody else going to a harvest party at all? No.
Leslie, I'm gonna go. Maybe it's me.
It's I'm reading that headphones will work. Anybody have headphones?
Yeah.
Oh, let me put. Yeah, I'll try.
Pink to match my shirt.
How cute.
Oh.
How cute.
See? It stopped.
It stopped.
Yeah.
And I'm not on headphones.
Yeah, I just read that sometimes it's the feedback. Sorry, guys, if you're watching.
We apologize. Hey, Allison, so the places that you just named, are they Maryland?
Oh, now we can't hear you. Your headphones have a mic?
I don't know.
Okay, I can hear you now.
Oh, now I can
You can
hear.
Okay.
Yeah.
We're just gonna not do. We're just not gonna not. I'm a little less familiar with Maryland wines, to be totally honest, other than Old Westminster, which I know and love, and I'm still kind of gaining that familiarity. Fauquier counties, and RDB actually has a master somm on staff. They make amazing wines. It's not cheap, but it's phenomenal. And then, Tarara is just right there. It's one of the closest. But for me, at Tarara, because it can get so crowded, because it is close, I go for that VIP. I don't know if y'all been in that room, but there's just, all you see is view and trees and mountains, and it's so quiet.
Yeah.
And downstairs, everybody's kind of elbowing everybody to get to the tasting bar. But you go upstairs, there's cheese, there's charcuterie. You see the changing leaves. It's just gorgeous. So, I mean, yeah, I have a top 4 in Virginia, I guess.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, but they're all phenomenal. They're different, but they're all phenomenal. Fauquier County is great.
Wow. That sounds great. I
We need to go out there together.
Mostly everybody here really knows that I had I don't know, how do you say it? Maryland, Virginia wines. I was like, nah, I might as well just get on a plane and go west. But now I'm being introduced by my dear friends to more of the East Coast wineries, and I'm kind of excited because I'm now finding different varietals at those wineries that I like, and I don't feel impelled to compare them to West Coast wineries or European or old world wineries, because this whole Google Hangout could go into a part 2, because there are quite a few old world wineries that I would love to see in the fall.
Oh, definitely.
Yeah.
So, because I've only been I've been to South Africa, and it was their spring going out of winter into their spring, and up into Stellenbosch, so it wasn't really fall. And then France, I was there in May, so I would love to see those places in the fall, and that was the southwest region of France. So.
What are other people's wish lists? Mine would have to be champagne. I mean, anytime, but I think in the fall particularly, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Little less expensive than Loudoun County.
Yeah, Epernay in the fall would be a nice little.
Yeah.
I've only been in the spring. Fall would be awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Has anybody been to Spain in the fall?
Where?
Spain in the fall.
I was just there in August.
Okay.
Honestly, the vines are so low to the ground that I wonder. I mean, Spain's beautiful and the wine is delicious and it's fabulous. But I wonder if you would have that same kind of foliage effect that we really get here on the East Coast, or like the Finger Lakes, or some of the cooler climates. I don't know. I mean, I've never been. I should probably go and find out.
It's a good reason to.
Right.
I was trying to think. Italy you might have the same. I could go to Italy. I don't care what time of year it is. There's another whole story. So,
I think it would probably be the same. Italy, France, Spain. It would be similar to here.
I guess so.
Right, but I think it would just be my fave.
I would like to go south to see what fall is like, in like Chile, that area.
Well, it'd be spring, wouldn't it?
Yes.
Well,
or are you talking about
their harvest time?
Okay.
Especially because a lot of their vineyards are at high altitude. I'd like to see, what is that like?
Yeah, that would be. We lost Melissa.
Melissa, I'm adding her back.
Okay. But I think, well, see, South Africa was just gorgeous. I don't care what time. Yeah, it would just be. I just love to travel, so let's just put it there. They have wine. Most of my travels are to wine regions, because I get a twofer, as they say. I get a travel destination plus the love of wine and the taste, and to see what wines are like in whatever locale that I decide to go to. And like Sarita said a little earlier, when I used to go to California, I tried to go at a different season every year. So one year I would go during fall, one year I would go during spring, one year I would go during summer, and one year I would go during winter. And you get such a variety and a love for what the vines look like during each season, that it's just at some point to me could be overwhelming, because it's like Mother Nature at her best. She gave us this, this weed really that digs deep and produces this fruit that becomes a commodity across the world. And Thank you, Mother Nature. I love you.
Glennis, when you say California, what part are you talking about? Napa? Which part of California are you referring to?
Okay. Napa, Sonoma, going up into the Hillsburg, going up into Calistoga, north, anything north of San Francisco. That's where I used to go once a year.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
I've only been once. I'm kind of embarrassed to say I've only been north of San Francisco once, which is a little sad considering, but
well, let's do it, and so we have to go.
I'll take you around, Virginia, these places.
There you go.
I guess, Allison, it was a great question that you asked, because my first time there, I thought I was gonna kill myself. I was like, there's no way hell. Excuse me, I forgot we were live. I could get to go to. As a wine lover, it's like, oh my God, if you fly in on Thursday and leave on a Monday,
yeah,
you might get to 10% at the most, and you're like, okay, and to enjoy it, because you just don't want to hop. So I guess my first time out was doing harvest, and it was Castle di Amorosa that we went to in their harvest. So I was like, okay, I got to come back. I've got to come. And then I went back during Christmas, and it was just gorgeous because of the way the wineries, most of the wineries decorate for the Christmas holiday.
Mm-hmm.
And then being from the East Coast, it's totally different because it's not necessarily the same winter as here, growing up in New Jersey or coming here. It's it's not the same. So I was like, oh, it's gorgeous out here.
Yeah.
So that part is just.
You know what? It's funny. If you go further north in Oregon, in the Willamette area.
Willamette, damn it.
Around all time.
Very nice.
Oh yeah. Everybody in DC, y'all should all go buy a bottle of this. It's my new obsession. It's Vista Hills from the Dundee Hills in Willamette Valley.
Yeah.
And I am obsessed. It is like $20, but if you taste it blind, you would swear it was $35. It is delicious. So anyway, it was an accidental find. They were out of what I went in for, and I literally went back tonight and I said, I'm gonna need another bottle. Thank you very much. And I will have y'all know, I sound a little hoarse. I don't always sound like a 1-800 girl. I did get a doctor's note to have wine with you ladies tonight, even though I'm on antibiotics. She said you can have one glass, so I hope nobody else will call my doctor and tell that I had two large glasses. But I did get a doctor's note to participate with you ladies.
Wonderful. We're so happy to have you.
Good.
But ladies, we forgot. Oh, I know.
What?
Would kill me. I just thought when you mentioned Oregon, Leslie, I thought about traveling from Washington into Penticton into British Columbia. I could just imagine what fall looks like in the East. You talk about some fabulous wines, and again, being there in the summer, thanks to the Wine Bloggers Conference, it would be interesting to see what it's like in the fall in British Columbia, because the wines are freaking phenomenal. And Tin Horn Creek has some of the best Pinot Noir. Good, thanks to Sandra Oliphant and her husband. I didn't even think about it.
I'm looking harvest up there right now, actually, in British Columbia. The pictures are gorgeous.
Oh yeah. The terrain, the geography, everything about that Pacific Northwest going up into British Columbia is just, even summer, and I can just imagine what it's like in the fall. Just looking at the pictures.
It's gorgeous. It really is the Twilight movie. Like if you ever watched Twilight, which I'm not saying that maybe I watched the whole series.
Spoiler. Yeah.
The scenery is just gorgeous. The falls, the vista view. It's just gorgeous. It's just gorgeous.
And you could just imagine the four of us just sitting out in the
Mhm.
fall and having a little, what do you call those little fires? Those fire pits
What, fire pit? Oh yeah.
Hmm.
Mhm.
with just bottles of wine, some charcuterie,
Yeah.
some marshmallows even.
Yep. They do that all the time at Black Ankle. That's another cool winery.
Hmm. It is. It definitely is.
Hi,
um,
Leslie.
so I have a question. So, what was the first winery that you visited, and how was your experience?
First, oh my gosh. Could you send us these notes ahead of time so we can think about it?
It just
I
came
had pulled
to
out
me.
today actually for this because we were talking about breaking rules when I went to boarding school actually in Western Maryland, where y'all are talking about earlier, and we were talking about breaking rules and stuff we did that we shouldn't have done. And one of them was I went with my family to the Loire Valley when I was 16, and I was with my family, so I wasn't really that sorry, but it was definitely against the rules. And I remember being in this cave in the Loire Valley and realizing that not all Chardonnay was this oaky, buttery, oily kind of vanilla
Wow.
bomb.
Hmm.
And it was this revelation to me, and I was 16 years old, so thanks a lot for, spoiling me for life. But that, to me, I will never forget when they told me, oh, this wine tastes of pear. And I thought, oh, my goodness, I get it. I get it now. And that, for me, I was 16 years old.
Mhm.
And then I had to wait 5 more years until I could really go buy it, and several more until I could afford what I really liked. But I was in France, and I was sold, done, finished, signed me up. Yep.
Nice, nice. Glennis, Leslie?
Oh, this is a very interesting question because I am so forgetful because now when you say winery, we're not talking about Scuppernong grapes in the heart, are we?
The
Because
Muscadine wine.
Yes. Um, that's my first introduction to grape and picking grapes, truthfully. Because of my family owning, different agriculture products down in the North Carolina area. But my first winery, really,
Mm.
oh my gosh, I have to think about that. It has
Okay.
to be,
It must have been California the way you talk about it.
it was in California, but I'm trying to figure out which was the first in California.
Yeah.
La 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 la. Y'all, that was years ago. I'm getting old. I'm not as young as Allison here can remember.
Leslie, you got yours?
I'm
I
going
think
to.
actually it was out. It was. I can't remember the name of the winery, but it was above San Francisco, and I just happened to be out in California for a conference, and I said, I am jumping in a car and playing hooky and going to a vineyard. And I think the thing that was most memorable and what I appreciate about small vineyards, small wineries, is that the owner and the winemaker was the same person, and they were in the tasting room, and then they just took so much pleasure in talking about their wine and explaining their wine, and I didn't have to prod them and ask them questions, and I didn't have to say, could you pour a little more in my glass? They were generous with their wine, and I think that's when I fell in love with the whole wine persona, and not just, oh, okay, I'm just going to go to Trader
Yeah.
Joe's and get me a
Right.
bottle of wine because I
Yeah.
don't know what I'm drinking.
Yeah.
It was that whole experience. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
I
when
can't
was
remember.
that for you, Leslie?
Oh, I would say maybe like 6 years ago.
Mm.
Ooh, I really did start young, I guess.
Mm.
You were just ahead of your time.
Yeah, true, true. I think mine was, yeah, I actually know what mine was. I was in Sacramento for a wedding, maybe, how old am I? Maybe it's like 10 years ago. And
I like
I was the only I was the only I tell this story all the time. After the wedding, I was the only one who stayed an extra night so I could drive around Napa. So I mapped it out, and there were no GPS systems. There was no, GPS on the cell phone, no navigation back then. So I had like papers, and they were all over the rental car. And I was like, "We're gonna figure this out. We are gonna figure this out, and we're gonna drive through Napa." So,
getting some deja vu, Sarita.
huh?
Deja vu from
Right? So my first stop was Artesa in Napa, and Artesa has a beautiful sculpture at the top, like outside, and I just stood there like, and you could see the rolling hills, all the vines, and I'm like, this is some amazing shit. Like, how did it take me this long to get here?
That was the first one you went to in Napa.
Yeah. So it was California. I was just sipping a nice, I think it was a Chardonnay. But yeah, that was it. I was like, this is really nice. The next thing you know, I come home and I start working at a winery. That's how affected I was by that visit. But
Oh, that's interesting because that was not how I started getting into wine.
Now, Sarita, isn't Artesa, are they organic, or am I remembering that incorrectly? Because that was the first place I went in Napa. I don't know. I feel like they are.
Let me see.
Maybe.
I don't remember. I know their tasting room looks like an art gallery.
Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah.
It's beautiful.
Yeah.
My one trip to Napa.
Oh, you got to go back there. So
Yeah.
many.
I know.
So,
It's on my list.
just love. I can't remember the first winery I've been to, so I can't remember.
Let's see. Mm-hmm.
Or sustainable. I think they're big on sustainability. It may not be organic. That's everybody's buzzword these days. But I think
you're right.
before it was cool, all that.
Yeah. Awesome. So Glennis, nothing came to mind?
I'm gonna be.
No.
I'm not even gonna tell my age
It
at
must
this
get on
point,
one.
but I can tell you that was my first introduction to a grape that ended up becoming a wine was Muscat and Scuppernong.
Sure.
That would be it. But the whole, I would say, the first winery, it would have been in Napa, the whole Napa Sonoma area, and I could list all the wineries that I've been to there.
Sure.
But I can't tell when I've been. Which one was the first one I went to? But I can tell you some of my favorites.
Okay, so now my next question is, now that it's fall, it's officially fall, what is the next winery that you're going to visit now? What's the next winery?
I know. Well, mine is going to be Old Westminster because we're going to their tasting room opening.
Nice.
Oh yes, they have their soft opening on Halloween.
Oh, on Halloween.
On Halloween.
Nice.
They have their soft opening there.
So that
should be a good event. Yeah.
I'm winery here. And I can't wait. La la la, yay!
Allison?
Well, gosh, I'm going out. I guess in 2 weeks is it 2 weeks? I need to check my calendar. It's RDV's Harvest.
Oh, that's right.
For the Ambassadors Club, which everybody thought I was crazy when I joined that because the wines are not cheap. But what I started doing was giving them the wines I just love so much as gifts to people with marriage or anniversary or whatever. And then we have it, for special occasions, of course, here. So I'm super excited to go for Harvest because, so many of the other winemakers from Loudon, and then you've got the Virginia, or not the Virginia Tourism, you've got the Wine Tourism Conference coming up.
Yeah.
To that area. So I think there's going to be some really cool people there this year. So I love the wine. I love the people. And I think this year is going to be an especially cool one to go.
Gotcha. Now, Leslie, I know you do wine tours, so this is a hard question for you, but do you actually go to wineries in your leisure?
I do. Well, yes, I do. Because when I am leading a tour, I don't get an opportunity to just
Mm-hmm.
sit back and enjoy
Mm-hmm.
because I'm, you know, making sure that my guests have a good time.
Sure.
So I do, when I'm not busy, I actually go back to all of the vineyards that we go to
Mm-hmm.
do a tasting of my own
Oh,
because I
okay.
want to know, what's new in
Mm-hmm.
the tasting room, what's changed, so I can tell our guests and our tour ambassadors what to suggest to people. And then because Maryland has so many new vineyards,
Mm-hmm.
um, there's some that I've heard about that I have not had an opportunity to personally go to that I'd like to experience. So the latest one is, I think, Chateau. Oh, I'm embarrassed, but it's Chateau de something, and
Mm-hmm.
it's right on the Delaware-Maryland border. And then there's one in Davidsonville, which is right down the street, and it's Dobbin. And I've sent people there, but I haven't had an opportunity. And it's
Mm-hmm.
located on a horse farm,
Oh,
which,
wow.
yeah. And they do, their tasting is, they only do appointment only.
Mm-hmm.
And their tasting is non-traditional, meaning you don't like ante up to the bar.
Mm-hmm.
When you start their tasting, they do a pouring, and then they walk you through the vineyard
Oh, that's nice.
thing
That's
while you're
very
doing
nice.
the, yeah, so it's a whole,
Uh-oh.
Did she
Yeah,
just stop?
we lost Leslie.
Oh, we lost her. Hopefully she'll come back.
Well, that's sort of like
Oh,
Stone Towers
oh
golf.
wait,
I'm
she's
back.
back.
Here I am.
Back. Okay, great.
Come on.
What was the last thing you said, Leslie?
Oh, I said that it's an experience.
Mm-hmm.
It's not just a
Yeah.
tasting.
Mm-hmm.
They incorporate the whole tour aspect in their tasting.
Mm.
So
Gotcha.
you get experience with the winemaker.
That's sort of like Stone Towers golf cart tours. Have y'all been on that?
No.
What is it?
Really fun. How we clearly go to all different wineries and we're all in the same area. Stone Tower does this it's like a golf cart tour and they load you up, they pour you their sparkling first, which
What?
right?
Clean your palate.
Yeah, I feel
just
like
a
you
little
should
bit.
know this one. And then they load you up in a golf cart, and if it's chilly, they'll put a blanket for you, and it's fabulous. You can fit 5 people, and they take this little caddy that keeps the wines cool, and they pour you the Chardonnay when you're in the Chardonnay vines, and then they talk
Oh,
about
that's
terroir.
Wait, that's in Leesburg? That's so close.
Yes, yes,
What?
it's so fabulous and so much fun. And you can talk about minerality. You can talk about terroir. You can talk about we get the rosé from these vines only, and you can see the elevation changes. And then you go in the caves. And of course, they're building a bigger facility, but you should go now before they raise the price, honestly, because it is so much fun and
Wow.
so phenomenal. I've taken clients. I've been just for fun myself, honestly. But it's that same kind of thing. I guess golf cart maybe because it's a bigger property.
Right.
Take hours, but
Oh, that sounds
That's
phenomenal.
awesome.
yeah,
Wow.
yes.
Wow.
Because it
It's awesome.
gives you a point of reference because they're pouring while pouring the particular varietal
Oh yeah.
when you approach that
Oh, you are
plot.
tramping through the vines as you're
Wow.
That's
what
great.
they had, or
Yes.
you're in the barrel room looking and maybe getting a barrel thief sample while you're having the last vintage or whatever. It's outstanding, and their rosé sells out every year. It is so good. So you got to go early to get your rosé.
Well,
Yeah. Wow.
well, that's on the list.
Put today.
Seriously. I'm actually heading to Seattle in a few days, so we're touring some Washington wineries.
Rita,
Yeah.
That's nice.
is this on your list? I'm telling you, they are not paying me. I just love them.
You have
I don't
to go
think
to
they're on
hard
the
road
list.
to hoe while you're in. If you get really north, in Washington, hard road to hoe.
Hard Road to Hope,
Yep.
and it's a winery. Hard
Yeah.
road to hoe.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Freaking
Hard road to,
phenomenal. Their wines are delicious.
hard
Um,
road to hoe.
there's some more that I can't think off the top of my head that we went to while we were up there for the Wine Bloggers Conference
Mm-hmm.
on the pre-excursion,
Mm.
and the wines are just phenomenal,
Yeah.
phenomenal. I love Pacific Northwest.
Yeah.
I mean everything comes from there.
So Rita, you go out there a lot, don't you now?
No, I just had been this year. I was in Oregon last month, and
Okay,
so
yeah, I saw that.
yeah,
I was a little jealous. I'm not gonna
yeah. Oregon. Yeah, that's
lie.
Oregon was really really nice. We didn't get out to the vineyards, so we just did like their urban wineries or whatever,
Mm-hmm.
like downtown or whatever. But
Mhm.
it was a nice tour. Their wine was really good. It was.
The
I mean,
wine is very good.
I was with coworkers, and they weren't into
Right.
as into it as I was, but they were actually pressing some grapes when we arrived at one of them. I
Wow.
was out there. I had my camera all up in it was the horizontal bladder press. I was all up in asking questions. But yeah, it was, yeah. But it was
So
fun.
is Seattle for work or just
No,
fun?
Seattle's just for play. Yeah, I've always wanted to go to
Okay.
Seattle. I had no reason to go, but other than wine. So
And
me
Pike's
me and
Place,
the hut.
oh my gosh, that Pike's Place is amazing.
Yeah, it is.
Okay, yeah, it's on the list.
You catch a fish?
I'm gonna see if they're gonna throw it at me. I don't know though. Are they gonna? You think they're gonna throw it at
Get somebody to view.
me? We'll see.
Yeah,
Ah.
Seattle. Well, Washington State is really nice.
I just
Well,
don't think
you
they
get
get the
that part.
recognition.
Huh?
No, I was saying I don't think they get the recognition that they should
Right.
because they are doing a lot of amazing things
Mhm.
in that region, and
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Well, they're so tied to sustainability. Once
Yeah.
again, bringing that
Mhm.
back again, which
Mhm.
is amazing. And I think a lot of what I've read, at least, is because of the salmon fisheries. It's not just the wineries looking out for other wineries or looking out for themselves. It's all of them looking out for the ecological system as a whole, which I think is
Yeah.
amazing.
Right.
Well, and their wines go so well with the fish. I guess
Yeah.
they kind of have to look out for each other, but
Mhm.
it's really cool.
Yes, absolutely.
Well,
Anybody want to share anything else before we sign off?
well, it's breast cancer. Well, in a couple of days it'll be breast cancer month. And so that's why we have these beautiful wine
Planet,
lovers,
come on, let's get a shirt.
wine lovers t-shirts.
That's right. That's right. Right.
very nice, ladies.
You got really
So
Getting classy.
definitely, we drink with a purpose, wine lovers, right, Allison?
That's yeah. Well, and I'm the new wine and lifestyle specialist, I guess.
right. You didn't talk about that in your introduction. What's that about?
I know. I didn't know. It was my first time. I don't know about these introductions. Yeah. So the wine lover community is just super supportive. It's all over the world, and they have specialists and ambassadors and all these sorts of things. So there's, if you're into, for instance, there's wine and storytelling or wine and tourism, and because my company is doing more events and lifestyle stuff, Luis was so kind to offer me the position of wine and lifestyle. So that was just presented, and we're debuting our shirts a little early. I think they were supposed to be embargoed until October 1st, but I'm glad I'm not the only one. I'm glad I have a little twin here, and this is near and dear to my heart. My mom passed away from breast cancer in the last year, and a lot of people in my family have had it. So they just do really wonderful things. Everyone's really supportive of each other, and then supportive of other causes as well. So women are at a higher risk if you do drink wine, and so this whole thing is about early screening and awareness and all that good stuff. And cute t-shirts.
T-shirts
Super cute.
All around the world.
all around the world,
That is awesome. Oh man. Well, this has been wonderful, ladies. Allison, thank you so much for joining us. You have to join us again.
Thank
you were
you.
great. All right, guys, we are signing off.
Cheers. Bye,
Good
y'all.
night.
Okay, Allison, don't hang up.
Okay.